Thanksgiving football, Greg Rosenthal. Everybody loves it. It's an American thing. And it all started at Ford Field, where Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions pushed the Eagles to the brink of extinction, in my mind anyway. A stinker by the Eagles, 45-14 final. Lions win. Matthew Stafford 5 touchdown passes. Calvin Johnson, 3 of them himself. This was a total pasting.
This was such a bad performance. The immediate question during the game was really like, what is the future of Chip Kelly? Is Chip Kelly going to survive this season? That's the type of performances these 2 games really in a row within 5 days, getting blown out by the Bucs and then blown out by the Lions. It makes you just think, if these type of games continue, is he going to be around next year?
And don't forget about when, the Around the NFL podcast was calling the Eagles the favorite in the NFC East.
Now we can stick a fork in them just about with 7 losses.
The
way they're playing.
They're up 16-3 at home against the Dolphins 3 games ago. They lose 20-19 that game. They get blown out by the Bucs and now blown out by the Lions. They're not getting beat by the 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, and the 2007 Pats.
This is a 4-win Lions team who's playing very well, and we saw those highlights. And we'll give them a ton of credit. But you just saw how open the running backs were. You see the running game here for Philadelphia just can't get it going. Mark Sanchez, I don't think it's really all on him. I heard a lot of Mark Sanchez.
A little too much of that.
I mean, he did not have a good game. But the defense has been an absolute embarrassment. They're leaving receivers open. The running game is terrible. They're not protecting Sanchez. The receivers have 4 or 5 drops. So Sanchez is just one part of a team that's totally dysfunctional.
I thought there was a little too much on the Fox broadcast, Troy Aikman in particular, going after Mark Sanchez.
I agree.
As saying that somehow if Sam Bradford was in the game, things would be different. No, this is a total team-wide meltdown 3 weeks and running.
This is the only reason that they were winning early in the season is they had a top 5 defense, I would say, through 6 weeks.
Sneaky good defense.
And since then, they haven't been able to rush the passer. I haven't seen Fletcher Cox. We were talking up their secondary, at least for a little bit, looked okay. They're struggling. We should give a lot of credit, though, to the Lions. I mean, they are 3 straight weeks now. They've put it on them. I mean, Matthew Stafford's played his 3 best games of the season. Jim Bob Cooter is a sensation.
Coots! Old Coots.
He's taking over America. They can run the ball a little bit. It was fun to watch them.
And let's be honest, we shouldn't really be surprised. Everyone was surprised when they started, 0-6? Was that what they were?
Right, 1-7, yeah.
And now with it, they're 4-7, and there's some buzz. Can they actually sneak in the back door and really get in the playoff mix? Maybe that's asking too much. But I am not surprised they're playing spoiler now because they were too talented to be as bad as they were. So I don't think this was a huge upset.
No, we both picked the Lions, I believe, to win. I'm surprised that it was such a rout. Their defense is playing a lot better. Ziggy Ansah has quietly been the best top 10 pick of that draft by far from, I think it was 2011, and he's almost leading the league in sacks. He's playing very well. They're finally getting Amir Abdullah. Calvin Johnson kind of looks like Calvin Johnson again. It's a strange situation because they fire the GM and the team president there.
Right.
You would think Jim Caldwell is out after this year. If they finish the season
he's still gone.
On fire, though, if they win almost every game down the stretch and they go 8-8, that's going to be tough to get rid of him.
And speaking of which, this will be in prime time or on Thanksgiving with millions and millions of people watching this game. Stafford throwing 5 touchdowns like this, he's not going anywhere.
No.
I would be stunned, barring a complete meltdown in the last 5 games or so. I think that Matt Stafford will be back, and they'll tool with this, but they think that he'll be the guy. That's my opinion.
I agree, and it looks like Jay Cutler from a year ago. I mean, remember how badly he finished it, and they still didn't get rid of him. It's hard to find quarterbacks. Chip Kelly is finding that out the hard way. They go to New England next week, Philadelphia.
I don't mean to laugh.
They are staring at 4-8. When things get ugly in some cities, they get really ugly in Philadelphia.
Philly's one of those cities. And Chip Kelly, we on the podcast, or at least I've had a lot of fun with the idea of Chip Kelly hoisting himself as some type of genius figure.
You're loving this.
It's just another example of how hard it is to really succeed in the NFL because Chip thought he had this system set up. He thought, I don't even need certain guys, the great players on my roster. I could ship them out if I don't like them because it's the system that wins. System ain't winning.
No. People are enjoying his downfall a lot. He won 10 games 2 straight years, and now we'll see what he'll do this year. Maybe they win 6 games. It doesn't mean he's a terrible coach, I don't think. I mean, he'll still be over 500, but his personnel decisions, when they let him have all the power, I agree that's a mistake. You see what Jeremy Maclin is doing right now. You see what LaShawn McCoy is doing. They miss those players.
Last question. What college is Chip Kelly coaching at next season?
Delaware State.
There you go, Delaware State. Check out the Around the NFL podcast 3 times a week.